Hi Village Church, Daniel Simpson here. Today is Thursday, July 30th, and we're talking about Moses here in my trusty Bible. So, brief recap of what we talked about yesterday. Moses has been living in the desert for 40 years after spending 40 years growing up in Egypt. He sees the burning bush, and God and him have a conversation. They're talking. And God says to Moses, I have heard the cry of my people. God, I've heard them. I'm going to come down and rescue them. I'm concerned for them. I'm going to come down and rescue them. And Moses, you're the guy who's going to do it, you know. And yesterday we talked about how, is our prayer life so much that we are like the Israelites crying out to God for whatever it is that we are asking for or wanting from him? Are we pleading before the Lord? Is our prayer life, are we praying fervently, right? And with passion? And also we talked about how God is concerned for us. He's our rescuer. Anyways, so we're on to verse 10 of chapter 3. Okay, let's start at verse 9. And now the cry of the Israelites has reached me. I have seen the way the Egyptians are oppressing them. Okay, so this is God talking to Moses. God says in verse 10, so now go. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. Okay, this is very clear to Moses. This is his command. God says, you go. I'm sending you. Okay. And now Moses talks back to God. He says in verse 11, but Moses said to God, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt? In verse 12, God says, I will be with you. Just imagine, just think about that for a second. I mean, there's much more that God says to Moses. They keep talking. We'll read a little more of that. But God doesn't say to Moses, hey, here's my plan for you for the next 40 years. You're going to do this and that. Then this is going to happen. Then you're going to take everybody and we're going to part the Red Sea. He doesn't give him all those details. He doesn't say, after you part the Red Sea, we're going to meet up on the mountain. I'm going to give you the law. We're going to talk for a long time. And then everyone's going to forget about God and me. They're going to forget about me. They're going to worship a golden calf. And then you're going to do this. And you're going to break the 10 Commandments. And you're going to come up and we're going to do it again. And then we're going to go back down. And then for 40 years, you're going to wander in the wilderness. But while you're wandering in the wilderness, you're going to come up and write the whole 5 books of the Bible, the first 5 books of the Bible. You're going to do this. You're going to establish judges for Israel. You're going to do all this kind of stuff. It's all of this thing that's like birthed, the traditions of the Hebrews and the Israelites for many, many hundreds of years. You're going to create all that. He doesn't give him all that detail. He doesn't lay out the plan for him for the rest of his life. He doesn't give him all that information. God just says one simple phrase to start off their journey together. He says, I will be with you. And that's really all he needed to say. That's really all we need to know. Because if God commands us to do something, if he calls us today, if he calls us to do something, if he calls you to be involved in ministry, if he calls me to do something in ministry, if he calls us to be a husband or a wife or a father or a mother or whatever else, to a job, to sing in the choir or to help with the children's ministry or the youth group, if he calls you to do something, whatever it is God calls you to do, he will be with you. And he will give you all the tools and all the things you need to do whatever he has called you to do. Now, there's a little more that God says here. We'll read a little more. I'll go back to verse 12. And God said, I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this mountain. Moses says to God, Suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they ask me, what is his name? Then what shall I tell them? God says to Moses, I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you. God also says to Moses, say to the Israelites, the Lord, and this is Yahweh, that the all caps, the Lord, okay, Yahweh, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, the name by which I am to be remembered, the name by which I am to be remembered from generation to generation. Yahweh, I am, okay, our God, our King, he is with us. So as we face crazy decisions every single day about our life in this coronavirus, okay, about the as we face disappointment and as we face grief or sorrow or stressful situations that are around us every day, we can remember that in everything where we go, as we follow the Lord, he is with us. Let that give you some comfort and peace today, that our God is with us. All right, have a wonderful day.